Hi, I'm David Edgar. I'm the host of Heart and Hand, and it's about an hour and a half after the final whistle at Hampden. It's always easier to do these things after a win, but I suppose in the interest of fairness, we need to do them when we lose as well. And like I said, it's only an hour and a half after the game. I'll sleep on it tonight. Might feel different by the time I come to record the pod tomorrow, but for me, it's just one failure too many for Pedro. It's just, you can't have a manager who falls at every hurdle, and that's what happens with Pedro, unfortunately. I think that some managers are winners and some managers are losers, and I'm sorry to say that. I just think Pedro is a loser, because every big test he loses, and you know, you can look back on some of them and say, well, this happened and that happened, and you can make a case for them, but then it's all the time. And with the exception of Aberdeen away, he's lost every single big match that we've had. The thing I would say is that you need to test progress against similar things if you can. This was our second semi-final at Hampden under Pedro, with the win against Celtic last season. This season he's got a better team, he's got his own players, he has got, you know, much more time under his belt. You would expect to see an improvement, especially against a poorer team. There was no improvement. If anything, we were worse. The first half we were probably the better side in it, but if you build a platform, it only becomes useful if you then go on and make something from it. We didn't. We had a platform and then fell away. So you can't use that first half in mitigation, unfortunately. And even with us having the bulk of the play, the best chance fell to Motherwell, and it took a miraculous block by Ryan Jack to keep us in it. Into the second half, dismal start. We've seen it so often, give away a stupid goal, and from then on in, we are really, really struggling. And I just thought that Motherwell's game management from there was excellent, and I did think a few of our players didn't believe. The easy thing to say is they chucked it, and you know, I used that in a tweet as well. They chucked it. Chucked it maybe makes it sound like they don't care. They did care, but I felt that they didn't believe they were getting back in it, and when the second one in it confirmed it. If the last 20 minutes we'd spent peppering the Motherwell goal, then you would say, yeah, okay, unlucky lads, you gave it your all. We didn't. We allowed Motherwell, not a great side, good side but not a great side, to comfortably manage the time out, and in fact we lost our discipline at the end with Alves and Herrera getting involved. The referee was abysmal today, and not just for us. I know we can feel probably rightly that it impacted more on us in terms of they should have the player sent off in the first half, but he was just terrible, and the standard of refereeing in this country is a joke. It's genuinely not fit for purpose, and unless it gets looked at, our game's just going to get worse and worse and worse. However, I don't think the referee was the cause of us losing that match today. I think that in Pena and Windass continually getting in the side, that I think that unfortunately the manager has two players there who are going to get him the sack. Windass just isn't very good at football. He just doesn't deliver at all. And you know, you can have all the clips in training of him scoring miraculous goals. In a match, you have no faith in him to do anything positive, to contribute anything positive. And we saw that today. It was an appalling performance from him. Pena, we'd said in the pod, maybe he's one of these guys who doesn't do anything for 89 minutes and then pops up with something brilliant. Well, when the something brilliant isn't there, he's just a guy who doesn't do anything for the course of the game. Pedro's substitutions, and I've defended them on this before, but today I didn't understand it. The man who's had virtually no game time comes on. Windass, your ineffective left winger, gets shoved in to be your ineffective number 10. It just smacked of throwing stuff against the wall. And the other thing I would say is, yes, he had the right to complain, but Pedro lost his discipline, and when Pedro lost his discipline, his team lost their discipline. And I just can't help but think, yeah, we've been spoiled by the managers we've had in the past, but a Walter side would give you that extra 10% dig when it was needed. That team didn't do that today, and this is a Pedro side. This is the team the signings he chose, the players that he decided to retain, and it was just awful. I mean, it was just awful. The fact that second half was a horror show. It was an absolute horror show. some of the arguments I see for Keane. Now, I've gone backwards and forwards on Pedro, and who knows, as I say, you know, I'll get my head down tonight, maybe wake up tomorrow and do the pod and I'll see it differently. But I just think that if you have someone who continually fails tests, then why would you think there will come a point when they don't? And this is what's happening with Pedro. There is no evidence to suggest. I've got my gut feeling that this team's not bad and isn't far away from being a good side. And I do. I mean, there is a part of me that strongly believes that. But when people come to me with, you know, the results written down, I don't have evidence to argue back. All I can say is, well, I think and I hope, and that's not good enough. You can't continually think and hope that things will get better. You need to see progress on the field, and we're not. I mean, we have to be honest. We were quite easily beaten in the end by Motherwell in a semi-final, a crucial match for us. And I think that if I can read this Pedro era rightly, if he remains, we will beat Kilmarnock on Wednesday night and we'll, you know, probably do quite well and our hopes will go up, and then we'll go and get hammered at Murrayfield. We've got Aberdeen twice coming up. I mean, these are going to be watershed games for him. There's no way he can survive another period of losing every key match. It just can't happen. And if it does, he will be gone, regardless of how much the board believe in him. I don't think he'll go this week, although who knows, Dave King was there to witness it. The fans were not happy people at the end of it. Maybe Dave King will act, but I have my doubts. One of the arguments I see put forward is, well, who would you get in? I don't know. You know, I don't know who's available. I don't know what the budget is, etc. But if who would you get in is the best argument to keep a failing manager, it's not a very strong argument. And I like Pedro. I really wanted him to succeed. I still want him to succeed. You know, we've all spoke about the press coverage, etc. But there's no evidence at all he will. He loses all the time when it matters. And, you know, some managers are winners and some managers are losers. And unfortunately, I think Pedro might be in the latter camp. And as much as I want to be wrong, like I say, I can't come here with results and say, you know, we're better, we're getting better, because they don't back it up. And we can't win 3 games in a row under him. We just can't. I mean, that's awful. He's 7 months here and he hasn't won 3 games in a row. And it's not like we've had runs of games where that wasn't possible. We're now coming into a very difficult spell, and I don't know what the future holds. I really don't. Like I say, we are going into games, I think, with 9 men at times. When you've got Pena and Windass, you can play one of them, I suppose, but you certainly can't risk both of them. We're not a good enough side to do that. Today, like I say, the first half was okay if we had then gone on, but we didn't. The first half then just becomes a high. The first half was a high watermark, and it wasn't very high, and that simply isn't good enough. I just think that moving forward, we need to look at whether this is the guy for us. I don't think it is. I know it's knee-jerk, people saying, and I know a few weeks ago I was saying be patient, but every bad defeat inches him closer to the door, and today was a very bad defeat. There's no getting away from it. Atrocious refereeing, terrible referee, yes, but that wasn't the reason we lost. Louis Malt's a player I like. I mentioned the summer I thought we should get him. You saw today, he's a talented player. Congratulations to Motherwell, they were better than us. You know, yeah, they're a dirty physical side, but it worked for them, so fair play. I'm not going to argue with them for that. And obviously I hope they win in the final, although I have my doubts. But then, given what we saw today, there wasn't much evidence we would have done much better than they likely will anyway. So that's everything from me today. A deeply disappointing day for us, and a sore one. And we'll pick ourselves up and go again, I suppose, because we've no other option, you know. And we're Rangers, you know. We've had boots in the balls far sorer than this. That's not to say that it's not to say that an average boot in the balls like this doesn't hurt. But we'll pick ourselves up. We'll go to Ibrox on Wednesday, and we'll be ready for the next challenge. The new pod will be with you tomorrow night. And who knows, as I say, I might be changing my tune then. I doubt it. I just think that... I think for a while I've been, you know, clutching at straws. I think straws are a key word here. I think I've been clutching at them. I've been clutching at more straws than Wurzel Gummidge having a wank. But now I think today the straws I was grasping have fell and broken the back. And I think that for me it's time to say goodbye. So with Conti Partiro in mind, my name's David Edgar, and I'll speak to you on the podcast tomorrow night. Bye.